Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon across the globe. I'm not sure where you're located. My name is Motas Batta. I'm the branch manager of Eelectron. I'm handling the operation for Middle East, Africa, and India. I'm based in Dubai. I have my colleague Paolo. He is accompanying me in this seminar. I hope it will be informative for everybody. Basically, our agenda today, I will start with the company image of Eelectron. So I will talk about the history of the company, what's our vision for the mid to long term. Then we will talk about what's new. Today, our topic will be about the touch panels. So we have new touch panel range, and we'll talk about all the techno-commercial features about it. Then in the end, I'll talk about the initiatives. Okay, let me start with the company image. The company founded in 1994, so we are like around 26 years old company. It's a family-owned business. It's founded in a city called Lignano. It's like a 12-mile north in Milano city. All our production, engineering, research, and development, we are doing it there. Our product, like 95% of our product made in Italy in that facility. We have offices across the regions. So we have here the Middle East in Dubai, covering Middle East, Africa, and India region. We have in China, we have in Spain, and different areas also in Europe. We are KNX member since 2005, so you can call us KNX member in Bonn. Our team even contributed in writing some codes with the KNX organizations. We are really technology fanatics, so we love to follow and be innovators also with the technology. So we embedded many technologies like cloud-based solutions with the Bluetooth connectivities, DALI solutions, major key players in this technology like Apple and Google. We have like more than 36,000 rooms running and operating by the Eelectron guest room management systems. It's installed in more than 800 hotel facilities. When we talk about the portfolio, so our portfolio covers different market verticals. The first one is residential, which is the smart home solutions. And then we cover the commercial, like shopping malls, commercial towers, mixed-use buildings, airports. And then we talk about the guest room management systems. We work through our channel partners, so we work in partnership. We have authorized and certified system installers who technically know how to install and configure our solutions. They are spread across the world. There's more than 80 countries. We have our channel partners exist in more than 80 countries. We are also certified training center. We have a training center in Italy, and we have here in Dubai. So if you have any person who would like to be a certified KNX engineer, we do that. As I said, we are fanatic with technology. We're embedding a lot of solutions or technologies to our portfolio, included DALI, BLE, and MQTT. In the previous webinar, my colleagues, they went through it, which is message, queuing, telegram, transport. I will give a brief maybe later. Usually, as a manufacturer, our main goal to listen to the market, listen to the end user, contractors, consultants' needs. Sometimes, always there is area for improvement. So we visit usually consultants and the integrators, the end user, the contractor, listen from them, like what the pain usually you face with the situation, with such specific situation, where we can improve. So feedback is very important. This is where we keep our eyes always open. And based on that, we develop solutions where it can deliver, healthy space, comfort, wellness, improve the energy consumptions, and of course, like improve the user experience, which are our main element. Like our eyes always to improve the user experience by installing, make the installation simpler. Also, can be maintained in an easier way, let me say. Sure, we're trying to utilize the technologies like MQTT, which we believe, for example, if someone has let's say a developer has 50 towers here in Dubai, and now each tower has a control room. Each control room need an engineer, like admin to administrate the systems. So now with M technology, we can centralize all these with one centralized control room, and we can send telegram to change, an example, the set point remotely. So in this case, I don't need to have 50 engineers sitting in control rooms. So sure, this will reflect the installation cost. Sure, the remote maintenance will be way easier for the operators. In short, so we don't have scale when we embedded this technology, even if you have a building scale or multi-tower scale or a city scale. Our portfolio contains modular solutions embedded with the smart technologies, this to deliver the best user experience for the occupants. Let's start with the portfolio. With the back-end devices, we have like heating, cooling actuators, the switching actuators, like 4, 8, 12, 16, 24 channels switching relays with SD card or without SD card. SD cards is very nice features with a few extra euros. You can just have direct like one-to-one replacement in case of any failure. So you don't need to have any engineer to configure the system. So just plug the SD card, power the new controller or the spare controller, will copy the application directly to that controller. Then you can remove the SD card, keep it as a backup for in your office for that project or that area. Then we have embedded in-wall input-output controllers, can control change conventional switches, for example, 2, 4, 6, 8 buttons to a smart smart switches, complete dimming solutions like Dari phase dimming, 0 to 10 volt DMX, also field devices with the energy management solutions, end user interfaces such as Electa, which is the pillar of Eelectron. This is where one of the first products we introduced in our portfolio. It's aesthetically nice mechanical push buttons. Then we have the Signature series, which is the 9025 capacitive glass range with a beautiful RGB bar, which can be configured to know the status of the area. The 3025 also is a mechanical push buttons, wide range of touchscreen, which empowered by today introduction with the new touch panels or touchscreen will be my colleague Paulo will talk about it. Sure Intelligency, it's our daily focus. So we have, for example, the space sensor, which is a system or a platform where it's a sensor, but it's a platform where you can have a lot of data gathering for the area from humidity, carbon dioxide, noise level, occupancy rate, which can be utilized. All these data can be utilized for heat mapping, for example, for space management system or human-centric. Sure, our solution empowered by KNX Secure, which is a very high level of security devices and connectivity with third-party systems like BMS, property management system, or energy management solutions. Our vision always, as we said, to focus on the user, improve the user experience in a building. If you have a company that you have operation expenses, the most expensive thing is the people, your employee. So we make sure, we deliver the best user experience, healthy environment where we can increase the productivity of people by delivering an excellent indoor air quality, a great light quality, a great environmental, measuring the carbon dioxide, the amount of bacteria emitted from carpets, the noise level. So all these parameters deliver the best user experience so we can improve the occupant experience in a building. Sure, as we said, our system is integratable with other solutions. The idea to deliver whatever we can read, we can deliver to third-party systems. So all these data can be gathered and integrated with another solution to get the maximum benefit out of it to create a smart logic. In the end, we also help the environment, of course, by saving energy. So our eyes also on that part. I think my colleague Paulo will start from that slide and will take you through our touch panel range. Thank you.
Thank you, Motas, for the introduction. Welcome, everybody. My name is Paulo. Today will be my pleasure to introduce you to our new range of touch panels. Let's start showing you how the range is composed. We start from the smaller one, 4.3 inches touchscreen panel. We move to the 7th and to the 10-inch panels. We will see that some of the features are common to all these devices that compose this range. Let's go deep into the technical features. Interesting, first of all, to understand that when we look at this new range of touch panels, we don't have to think that this has been designed just for residential installation. We suppose that we can use also this device in buildings and industrial structures. So let me say offices or industrial buildings. Starting from the 4.3 inches, you can see, first of all, that it can be installed in landscape or portrait. It's up to you to define the best way to show to your customer this new device. And let me say that you can even decide to move. So starting from installing in landscape and then move to portrait or vice versa, because it's easy to install. 3 different models for the 4-inch panel. The standard one, entry-level model. The second one is the Touch 4.3 plus IP. This means that we add the IP connectivity. With the IP connectivity, we can have remote access using a mobile app. We can control what has been designed in the touch panel and receive push notification for alarms or status that change on project site. The third one, we had a new feature aside the IP, that is the door phone function. Means that with this version, we can have an internal monitor or an intercom, and we can see IP camera. Let's see the standard feature that belongs to all the 4.3 inches. So we have a capacitive touch display. It can be installed in portrait or landscape, as I told you. It can be installed using standard in-wall boxes. Means that we are compatible with Italian, German, Swiss, and British in-wall boxes. How we can install the device? The device is installed with magnetic fixing. Means that we have to install a frame on the in-wall box, and then the device is plugged into the frame. And this can be enough if we look at the residential installation. But of course, if you want to increase the security, we have a screw in the lower part to fix the device and to make it more difficult to remove for the other person. We have a built-in temperature sensor and up to 4 digital or analog inputs to connect temperature probe on the rear side. Interesting to say that we have a real-time clock on board with a backup battery. So this means that in case of a power failure, the time data is not lost. Of course, we have a direct connection to CAN-X bus through TP cable, and we need an auxiliary power supply. But due to the very low power consumption of this device, we can use the auxiliary power supply that we have in a standard CAN-X power supply. Up to 48 or 96 control function or components. What does it mean? For the entry level, we have up to 48 components that can be designed by the engineer to command something. Could be a light, HVAC, sinks, and so on. 96 is for the door phone version. So we increase the number of components that can be designed in the touchscreen. We have up to 6 pages, and for each page, we can have up to 8 components installed. Here in the slide, we show the home page that by default show the time and date and actual temperature. Remember that we have a temperature probe built in. On the central image, we can see some comments, and the rightmost image is just to understand that the end user can define his favorite page. So he can compose his favorite page as he prefers. So the action that he wants to access very easily and to interact daily. You can customize the background images. This means that through a USB cable, we have a USB port in the rear part. You can upload your own image very easily. And for the 4-inch model, we can have 2 levels of password or security, usually admin and user. So some function can be accessed only through a PIN code that has to be set. Here we show the landscape installation with different commands. Again, the home page. Some components as the RGB components, the interaction of the end user is in 2 steps. The first one is the immediate command that can be used with the components, so just switching on and off the light. The second step is to approach a new page where you have a more detailed command. For example, for the RGB, you can choose the color before sending it. You can also store the color to be recalled later. Which kind of color of controller we have on board? Starting from the simple button just to turn on and off something, we have slider, very useful for dimming lights. We have rotary slider, very appreciate this kind of rotating button, RGB wheel, sorry. And a special notice is about the component called choice. Is what we can see here in the rightmost feature. So we can have a component that recall up to 6 different options. The example that I can use for the idea of the options is the way to control HVAC. You know that for the HVAC functional, you have comfort, standby, normal detecting mode, and so on. So with one component, you can access to up to 6 functions. This is the idea behind this choice element. What about the themes for the end user? We have designed 2 different kind of themes, most popular today in many of the applications that you can find on mobile apps. So we have the standard light themes and the dark tones themes. So it's up to the end user, and he can change dynamically the themes according to his needs or to his flavors. It's important. It's not managed by the designer, the engineer, but is the end user that will choose the themes he prefers. Nice function for the touch is the capability to manage gesture. So gestures are available in home page or when the touch is in sleeping mode. So you don't have to turn on, but simply swiping one finger or even the multi-touch, we can achieve 4 different functions. Plus the multi-touch, multi-gesture touch, the 5th one. So it's up to you to configure what has to be triggered with a function. And normal function are swiping from left to right, right to left, up, down, and down to up. Multi-touch, if you press then, if you put 2 or more fingers on the touch, you have the multi-gesture trigger. Now it's my pleasure to show you a real online demo. We have a couple of webcams that will show you how to work with the gesture. I guess that you can see a running touch now is in the home page showing date, time. And now I'm going to ask my colleague to move down our shutter. Swiping from up to down. Okay, we wait for the shutter to completely reach the lower position. Then swiping from right to left to turn on the light. We have some RGB lights that now is starting. I guess that you can see a red light very close at the top of the shutter. It's a scene, so it's moving through different colors. And now before approaching the multi-gesture function, retire the shutter, because we show you with the multi-tool. Please retire the shutter from down top. We program for the multi-gesture what we can call a leaving the house scene. And what we expect is to, when we leave the house, to switch off the light off and put the shutter down. Please, Alice. Okay, thank you. Lights has been switched off and the shutter is moving down. Okay, now we can switch on the light, thanks, and we can proceed with the slides. What we have more on our touch screen, we have the capability to program schedules. For each component, this means 48 or 96 components that we can have in our different models, we can have up to 4 programs. The programs is something that has to be triggered, putting a day and time to complete an action. So we have a lot of schedule at the end. And we have also alarms. So for each component, we can add 1 alarm. And we have some colors that show the status of the alarm. So means green, you can imagine green means that no alarms has been triggered. Yellow, an alarm has been detected. Red, we have an alarm and no one has acknowledged this alarm. Of course, if you, with the IP version of the touch and with the mobile app, you get push notification about alarms running. 2 independent 2-stage thermostats. So do you remember we have a built-in temperature sensor? We have up to 4 inputs on the rear part to connect more temperature probe. And we have inside 2-stage thermostat with a complete algorithm to control the set point. We have an internal scene controllers. So basically, we can always recall scenes in a classical way, means scenes programmed at Kinect level can be recalled. But for the end user, it's also possible to create its own scenes. That means create a sequence of telegrams that will be dispatched on the network. About Unicode support, we have to say that we can manage the Unicode characters. So the presentation in the visualization part and on the text that is typed in the touch can be also with different languages, means, for example, Chinese, Cyrillic, and so on. Power saving mode is predefined. We have 2-stage power saving mode. This means that we can program timer to move the touch in on-page status and a second timer to completely switch off the screen to prevent energy consumption. And also maybe you have one of these touch in your bedroom, you don't want to keep the light on for all the night. Flash mounting adapter. So we can install the touch. Flash mounter means close to the wall. And what we need is a drywall at least of 13-20 millimeter thickness. What cannot be installed? The door phone version, because it's due to the microphone and the speakers. So if we put in the wall, you can't hear and the microphone can't work. So this is not good. And we have also to take care about the built-in temperature probe, because putting in the wall, reading of the temperature is not good. What about the model with IP connectivity? The IP connectivity allows the system to go online. Going online means that you can reach locally in your LAN, your touchscreen, and the app is a mirroring app. So it shows what has been designed at touch level will be reported in the mobile app. But you can also go to your touch remotely. This means that you will pass through the cloud system. It's very easy to connect your mobile app to your touch because you have just to scan a QR code that is presented on the touch, because everything is managed automatically. And you can, as a user, you can have multiple touch connected to your account. So when you open the mobile app, if you have more than one touch, you will see the list of all your devices, the devices connected to your account, and you will choose the one that you want to interact with. As I told you before, using the app, you can have access to the push notification for alarms, for example. Door phone function. What does it mean? That we have a SIP-based feature built into the touch. Just a few words about the SIP function, because here we use P2P SIP function. This means that a connection is point-to-point between the door phone system and our touch screen. A list of compatible systems that has been already tested to confirm that it works fine with our touchscreen. Of course, if you have new models, we are happy to integrate this new model in our systems and to test if it works, first of all. IP cameras. The door phone is also capable to show the IP cameras. Just remember that the IP camera can be visualized into the touch, but not into the mobile phone. We can also program some triggers, so at Kinect level. So events that happens on the door phone level, for example, with incoming calls and so on, can be triggered to fire something at Kinect level. And you don't need the call if you want to open the door. So some commands can be anyway sent through Kinect level, even without receiving a call at door phone level. The 4.3 inches models are programmed through ETS, so you don't need an app or a different application to design your solution. Everything is managed at ETS level. Okay, now let's move to the 7 and 10 inches panels. Most of the features we will see that are similar to the 4.3 inch. But what we can see immediately at hardware level is different. So these touches are bigger, and we have two different kinds of display. The 7-inch touch panel uses a TFT display with 124 per 600 pixel of resolution. Compared to the 10-inch panel, here we have an EPS technology. Honestly, EPS technology offers something more in terms of angle of visualization of the screen and so on. For both versions, anyway, we have two different features. The first is the glass, and we say full glass front means that we have just one glass that make it completely flat, or the classic plastic frame. The pro and cons of to have plastic frame is, for example, the capability to make it interchangeable. So you can change the frame of your touch. This is not possible with the glass version. Do we need an auxiliary power supply? Yes, we need it, but it's included in the delivery of the touch AC to DC converter, 12 voltage DC, that is required for the touch to work. As for the 4-inch, here we have the direct connection to the bus through TP. We have 4 input functions on the rear part, digital or to connect temperature probe. We have the real-time clock with battery backup, and we have a couple of loudspeaker and a digital microphone installed in the device. What about the components or controls that we can enable in the 7 and 10 inches touches? Here we have more than 5,000 controls because we can manage up to 64 zones. And for each zone, we can have up to 8 pages per zone. And for each page, we have 8 components. So we have about 4,096 elements that can be designed in the visualization part. How are managed pages or zones? A zone or a page can be as a container for components, so to make it possible for the end user to interact with the devices installed on project site. But it can also act as a map. This means that we can upload a background image and put in some labels or a graphics element. We can build a navigator. So the map is used to access other pages, to reach components, to control devices installed. In a map, a zone or a page that has been dedicated as a navigator, as a map, is not possible to insert components, so control, like switch to for lights or dimmer and so on. It's just the maps, it's just a navigator. As I told you, we have configurable background images. The screen is bigger, so we have new control, like the RGB that you can see in the left image. Again, we have the capability to manage different themes that can be selected by the end user, like the dark mode. And here we have 4 password levels. Remember, in the 4-inch, just 2 levels, admin and user. Here you can define up to 4 different levels, always accessed by a PIN function. Gestures are present, as we show in the online demo. Sync controller. So we can trigger Kinect scenes, classical scenes, or the end user can compose his own sequence for scenes. And we can have the plus that we have in the 7 and 10 inches is the capability to insert a delay between different elements of the sequence. So we have time schedule, we have alarms, and we have presence simulation controller. This is to simulate that someone is in the house, even if no one. So you can decide to switch on and off some lights, move the shutter, and so on. We have the capability to send notification, not only push notification, but also through emails. And here we have 4 independent thermostats. The plus that we have here is also a logic function, freely configurable. So standard logic gates like AND, OR, XOR, and so on, some mux and demux, comparators, arithmetic function, delay units, very powerful logic modules. Let me say free of charge. The 4 inches programmed through ETS, now you can imagine that here we have more features, so an app is required. The app is free of charge, of course, can be downloaded from our website, and is the app required to configure the touch. It's capable to import group addresses from your ETS project. And we have also to spend some words about the internal addresses. So you can also define some virtual group addresses just to be used internally in the touch to fire scenes or to trigger some function. Ultra-fast programming over IP because the application made the link with the touch through the Ethernet cable, so it's very fast to download and to review and immediately see what has been modified in your project. Most of the engineers are scared about the resources that are present in the touch, so we have a resource monitor that shows you what has been used in terms of resources inside the touch. So this is to give you an idea where is the limit of your design, always accessible and updated in real time during the commissioning of the system. Door phone function. So for the 7 and 10 inches, we have the door phone function built in. And about the SIP capability, here we support both, so P2P and SIP registration. SIP registration, in this case, give us the capability to manage an internal door phone, means that you can have different touch talking one each other. You can use the touch as an intercom. We can have the capability to show IP camera. We can have up to 8 IP cameras integrated in the solution. You have a list preview of the last image received by the IP camera. And as soon as you click on the IP camera, you go online and you see in real time what the IP camera is capable to see. We have no capability to record video. And remember that the image of the IP camera is available on the touch. It is not possible to mirror the camera in the mobile phone. But if you want to see your IP camera in your mobile phone, probably it's better to use the native app provided by the IP camera manufacturer. For the mobile phone, remember, no configuration required, very easy to connect your touch. It doesn't matter if it's 4 or 7 or 10 inch. The mobile app, it's free of charge, based on iOS or Android platform. Communication is encrypted, and very important, here is reported that we have a web-based interface, because for 7 and 10 inches touch, we have a web server on board. So you can use the mobile app to interact with the touch, but if you prefer, you can go also through a web browser. A simple screenshot of the app, it's organized as a review with all the components, with the function, easy to use, not so difficult to manage this kind of app to configure your touch. Thank you very much for your attention. Now it's time to give back the floor to my colleague Motas for what is coming next.
Thank you, Paolo. Okay, so what's next? Our next webinar, we will be talking about Otomo, our BLE wireless solution, and eSuite, which is our guest room management system software. Please make sure you subscribe in our website and the newsletter to receive the invitation for those upcoming seminars. We are available, all the social media channels like Twitter, Instagram, by email, our website. Sure, you can contact us through all these channels. The product availability, the 4.3 inch, it's available from today. So if you have any sales inquiry, please feel free to contact your sales channel by our system integrators or distributors, or directly with the Eelectron, and we will divert you to the right channel. Same thing for the 7 inch and 10 inch. It will be available by end of next month. The software tools and the cloud remote application also it will be available by 29th or end of next month. We have like a lot of tools for technical and sales available on our website. I highly recommend you to go to eelectron.com, press in the catalog. You will see all our brochures, leaflets, technical product catalogs. It's available there as a PDF. If you'd like to have a hard copy, please also try to contact us or our sales channels. I highly recommend you having demo cases or demo kits. It's make big difference when the people, the end user touch and feel the product quality. And we offer that in different forms, as a dummy units or as powered one, just a simple box with you can see the switch which lighted up, or as a hand carry case. Usually we use this for site visits, for the consultants, maybe meetings, or end users sometimes. Also, if you are a system integrator, we offer like a lab kit, so you can build your own lab for your technical team, so they can have hand-on training on the product, which is something is very important, to keep your team always remembering the configuration, the features. Our products really have like tons of features can be explored by having hands-on and dig in the configuration. This is the link where you can subscribe for the newsletter, so that will help you again to get updated with the webinars. If you want to have any like one-to-one meetings scheduled with one of our teams or channel partners, please feel free to this link. You can book appointments, or you can just scan this barcode. It will take you to the form and you can fill it and we can schedule it for you. I think that's it for today. Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
I would like to thank you for your attention. It's been a pleasure. See you to the next webinar.
Thank you. Have a good day or good evening ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye.